Spade. Please join me in welcoming Bennett Morrison.
First off, thank you. Thank you, President Whitman, for the warm welcome, for the introduction. I didn't realize we'd be wearing the same tie tonight. It looks like we organized that. It's my honor to be here tonight, especially as later Andrew Burns will be recognized as the Jeff Little Volunteer of the Year. Andy was the architect of Kraft Hockeyville event last fall, where Clinton was crowned Hockeyville USA and hosted an NHL preseason game. I had the pleasure to work with Andy a little bit on this enormous endeavor. And when I say I worked with him, I mean to say that he had me walking around Clinton for 2 days in a full Kool-Aid Man suit. It was huge. Anyone who knows Andy knows that he's definitely a character, and he absolutely loves this college and this community. I met Andy for the first time one night, just down the road at Altieri's. About 3 hours later, he had talked me and a friend through every single picture on the wall in the place, completely filled with the history of Clinton hockey. His passion for Hamilton and Clinton was immediately palpable. For this reason, my Hamilton hockey teammates and I look up to Andy as a model for what it means to be a Hamilton alum. I can't think of anyone more deserving of this recognition, and I'm honored to be a part of this day.
Okay, I am going to read what is on this plaque. It says, Jeff Little, 71, Volunteer of the Year, presented to Andy Burns. In your student days, after finishing the last exam of the semester, you'd punctuate your freedom by whipping your pencil into the bushes and walking straight down the hill to the village. That was your natural path. As the 12th Burns descendant of Clinton grocer Patrick Owen Burns, to graduate from Hamilton, you grew up making the trek up and down College Hill to attend Continental's hockey and football games. Ever since, you've worked tirelessly on behalf of Town and Gown. In the 1990s, you were one of the founders of Kirkland Ventures, an effort that united community organizations and the college to pursue projects for economic benefit of all. In 2001, you helped establish Hamilton's Town Gown Fund, which to date has invested more than $840,000 to support Clinton schools and local nonprofits. And then there's your passion for hockey. Your contributions to your alma mater go far beyond the ice, to be sure, but we must call attention to your role spearheading the smashingly successful celebration of 100 years of Hamilton hockey in 2018. You logged hundreds of hours researching hockey history and how it linked college and community for a century. In addition, you were instrumental in recruiting and managing scores of volunteers to pull off a weekend-long commemoration that ultimately sparked Clintonians and Hamiltonians alike to rally to capture the National Kraft Hockeyville USA title. Distance from home and hill has been no barrier to your service. No matter where your career successes have taken you, you've been there for the Buff and Blue. You and Julia host meals for alternative spring break groups, the choir, the college choir, traveling athletic teams at your home in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. For many years, you served as class president, as regional chair, in addition to your involvement in the Town Gown Committee, Alumni Council, Class of '78, reunion committees, Wall Street Association, and Career Center programs. You once said that you are forever grateful to Hamilton for teaching you to write and defend an argument. and for fostering friendships that last a lifetime. And although you have yet to fulfill your goal of commissioning a gondola to take alumni and students up and down College Hill, I know, right? We are here today to tell you, we are here to tell you today that Hamilton is forever grateful for all you do. The Alumni Association takes great pleasure in presenting you with the Jeff Little 71 Volunteer of the Year Award.
So I'm just going to say one thing. Everybody Chapel Hill is always saying, "Where's Andy?" I'm like, Andy sleeps in Chapel Hill, but he lives in Clinton, New York.
Wow. I even found out about the gondola. The reason I thought of the gondola is that when I grew up and when a lot of the older people here went to Hamilton, one of the reasons why the village and the college were so close is that hitchhiking was completely acceptable. And so there is a cement section in the village where hoogies, which is what we called all of you, where college kids would just stand and barely put out their thumb, and anyone heading to the college, whether they're going to Vernon or a farmer or what have you, would pull over and bring them up the hill. Same, you could hitchhike down. We even had a dog that hitchhiked that figured this out. Olive. She'd go down the village and wander around for a while and then go barking at the hitching corner and come back up. So somebody bothered somebody once and that we had to stop the hitchhiking. But maybe now with Uber and Lyft and with all that, we can, figure out a new sort of way to get everybody going back and forth. I'm thinking we could call it dwipping. See, you dwip down to the rock, dwip back. You never know. Alumni Council, I can't tell you enough how grateful I am about this, but since I took English at Hamilton, I realize I can tell you how grateful I am. I am really happy to get this award. I am really happy. Of course, I'd like to thank Julia, who is Dr. Julia Burns, who, when we lived here for about 15 years, she is a psychiatrist and handled many of the issues of students up here. And we're both very happy that there's a health center here on campus now. Julia was at the front of that for many, many years. And if she hears the name Albert Prettyman 8 more times, I may be out of Chapel Hill for good. I'd like to thank my friends and family. When you grow up in a town like Clinton of 1,800 and then go to school half a mile away in a community of 1,800, you end up, and then move back later for 15 years, you end up with a lot of friends and family. And in fact, the two words start coming together. I don't really know the difference between friends and family in this area. And you're here, many of you, those friends and family, and thank you. You know who you are. Thank you. I'm so glad this is the Jeff Little Award. Jeff's a great Hamiltonian, as Patty just reviewed. But one of the better decisions he ever made was naming Jack Withian as best friend when they were here at Hamilton. They're a little bit like, well, it's Jeff and Jack. It's kind of one word, kind of like my brothers, Nick and Dave. They're here tonight. It's one word, Jeff and Jack. But as I was talking town gown and hockey through 20 years or more, it was always Jeff and Jack that lent me an ear and would help me kind of work through the issues that needed to be done. But Jeff and Jack, thank you so much. Thank you so much. My great-grandfather, Oni Burns, they called him Oni, dropped out of Clinton High School in the late 1800s and started a grocery store in what is now the Subway building down near the Rock. And he sent his 4 sons to Hamilton. I think it cost $75 per child then. But he also sent a number of other townies because he was quite successful. And $75 maybe wasn't that much then, I don't know. But that's where it all started. And those 4 boys sent 7 of their children, all boys, because that's all the way the school was. And so that's where our legacy began. And the 19th has since graduated from Hamilton with roots to Clinton, and we're hoping for another generation soon. But one of the things I just wanted to mention is that our family, whether going to Hamilton or not, we have basically 5 generations of interacting on a town gown sense. And I'm getting the Jeff Little Volunteer Award, the Year Award, but my brother Dave is here tonight, and his daughter Beverly and our cousin Bobby couldn't make it, but they both work for the Volunteer Fire Department and for the Ambulance Corps, all 3 of them. And they should get this award every single day for coming up here to Hamilton College and other places locally, all as volunteers for serving the town and gown. When I moved back here in 1992, moved my family, the economy was quite weak. And there was no better poster child for that than Hamilton, New York, where Colgate is. Hamilton, New York was falling apart. The facades were falling into the streets. And Jane Pynchon, the president, the interim president then, came to speak here in Clinton and talked about how fortunate we were to have a village and town that was thriving while theirs was falling apart. They ended up spending $20 or $30 million, the trustees at Colgate, to fix up their town. So I started studying this, and I made a pitch to the Hamilton trustees, and I opened by saying, I want to have the conversation with you, Hamilton trustees, that Colgate wishes somebody had with them 50 years ago, so they won't end up in this situation of a village and a town falling apart where they have to get into the village building business. And after all, Colgate's mission is to be the best safety school in the world, and here they were. Well, I asked Joan Stewart afterwards if I could have a building named after me for saving the college $20 million. She hit me in the shoulder and said no. But so much has happened since. A lot has happened. Hamilton has started a pilot tax program where they pay a lot of taxes because the fraternities were coming off the tax rolls. They pay a lot more than they have to. They gave money for the fire truck downtown, $300,000 or something like that for the fire truck. We started the town gown fund, has $1.8 million in it now. It's improved communication, and as they mentioned, $800,000 has been given to the town. But the #1 way that we've collaborated in the communication and better town gown was that darned hockey thing. I mean, it just worked. You know, we had the Thank You Albert Prettyman hockey, followed by Kraft Hockeyville. And I have to make sure that I mention that Patty Louise is here tonight, who was we're at the 1-year anniversary of the game. And Calumet, but Patty was there to hand the trophy over, and I saw her on NBC Sports last night out in Michigan, and she's here tonight. But Patty Louise really did the whole Kraft Hockeyville thing. Wherever you are, Patty. Oh, there you are, Patty. Welcome home. The day that we were all at the Clinton Arena, hundreds and hundreds of us waiting to find out if we won the Kraft Hockeyville contest. And the Stanley Cup game was on, and we had the TV up, and we knew it was going to be announced during these periods, and we were all so pensive and waiting. And like seconds before that, before it came on the TV, I got a phone call from Jack Withiam. I said, Jack, what's up? He goes, you won. I said, what do you mean we won? I'm looking at the TV and nothing's going on. You won. And I thought, what the world? Well, it turns out he was 15 seconds ahead of us with, well, maybe the signal comes to Clinton slow, I don't know, or he was watching another game, but he saw the announcement 15 seconds before we did. And I didn't know what to do. Then it came on the TV. We found out that we won. And the place went bananas. And I'm telling you, I've never seen so many grown men in plaid shirts and blue jeans and Carhartts crying in my life. It was an unbelievable experience. And in the middle of it all was David Whitman, down there at the Clinton Arena. David completely gets that we're a community, and he's been hugely supportive and is the best town gown president I've ever known of. Maybe there were some before, but thank you, David. He's there, he gets it, and we're looking forward to the future. We are. Before I close, I'd like to make one pitch. I'm always pitching something. You know, the Clinton Arena is a great, we're the best small hockey town in America with the Clinton Arena. I'd love to see Hamilton play more hockey games down there. It's easier to watch games down there. Bennett, maybe you could chime in on that, but I'd like to see them play more games down there that have bigger audiences, and it'd be a great thing for the students to bust down and get dinner tickets and so on. Let's work on that. That'd be a fun thing to bring the town and the gown together over. So to the Alumni Council, to Julia, and of course my family, to friends and family, which are all one thing, to Jack and Jeff, who helped me so much, and to David, from the bottom of my heart and from the top and the bottom of this hill, thank you.
That was